Okay, this is part 2 of our Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs series. We will be doing this every Wednesday until we complete the whole thing. Like I said, this is a modified version, and you can look at this whole big Wikipedia article by clicking the link down in the description. Last time we dealt with the most fundamental needs, and like I said, you can go back to look over those. This week we are going to look at the safety needs. And when you're going through financial difficulty, whether it's individual or whether it's, nationwide, corporate, family-wide, the safety needs, I think they're kind of integrated with what we did last week, is what I'm trying to say. So let me just stick to my notes so I don't ramble. The 4 needs on this level, as defined in this article, a summary of his theory, includes health, personal security, emotional security, and financial security. So you can see already how these kind of tie into what we talked about last week. But first of all, health. Health is not the absence of disease. Health is being in homeostasis. It's your body functioning properly. So it is wrong to think that you are healthy if you simply don't have a major disease or a major ailment or an illness. So how this helps in typical times is, healthy, you're able to do more, you're able to accomplish more. However, when bad things happen, the stress on your body, the fight or flight in your adrenals, all the chemical things that change, it can drastically affect your health. When my husband was going through cancer, even though I did not have cancer, I had major health changes in my body and things that happened to me as a result of the amount of stress that I was undergoing, watching my husband suffer and caring for the family and all the fallout, the financial, the emotional, all that kind of fallout. I had to get myself healthy again. However, had I gone in already in a state of better health, because I already had some health challenges, they would not have been exacerbated. So as we're going into a time of possible recession, but at least financial downturns and things like that, and we've suffered the last 2 years, you need to work on getting your body in a state of health, not just lack of disease. And if you have a disease, you need to work to get rid of that disease. Your body can heal itself. My favorite example was, oh man, I can't remember the guy's name right now, but he said, if you have a headache, you don't have a Tylenol deficiency. If you cut your finger and you put a Band-Aid on it, after you take it off a few days later, you'll see that a scab is formed and later skin comes back. Our bodies were designed to heal themselves, and our bodies were designed to alert us to issues. So when we have a headache, it's our body trying to notify us. If we have a health condition, our body is trying to notify us of things. So get healthy. Don't just try to avoid illness. Number 2, personal security. This is why I talked about contingency plans before. Personal security is not just like having locks on your doors and windows and trying to live in as safe of an area as you can and knowing your neighbors and watching out for each other, having weapons, having personal defense classes, things like that. It's also the security of having a contingency. So knowing what you'll do if a circumstance changes. How are you going to adjust and adapt to make sure that you have a safe place to live, to raise your family, all those kind of things. Number 3, emotional security. This is, I don't know what Maslow says. This is just my own personal, forgive, let go of stuff, find hope, establish boundaries, because you are the only person that you can control. So being frustrated by what's happening around you, what somebody else is doing or not doing, saying or not saying, you are causing your own emotional upheaval. And I have gone through some really, really hard times. I've gone through some really great times. And it really is not a matter of what your circumstances are. It's that will not determine emotionally how you are. People can cry at a party and laugh at a funeral. People can be, we had wonderful family times when my husband was sick and when we had no money, and we've had some major stressors during a time of financial blessing. Money does not determine happiness. Circumstances do not determine happiness. Your attitude and your ability to let go, work the problem, and move forward is what's going to determine your happiness. This is how some people like ER doctors and nurses and people, firefighters, people who go into difficult situations, cops, are able to face the ugliness of life every day and still have a functioning life. It's those that are able to let go of what's going on around them and blowing up and being strong. This is especially important if you have children. Parents, you need to stop being selfish and you need to be strong for your kids. Stop worrying about what's not going right for you and recognize this is their childhood and make it a good one. Number 4, financial security. Work to pay down bills, to stock up on necessities, have multiple jobs if necessary, or have a fallback job. Make sure you have savings in pad. Go see my video on the equation. I went ahead and made it. It's already been posted. Go watch that video. It will show you how you can take just little bitty bits to revolutionize your budget. Live below your means. Now, when my husband got sick and then in the recession that happened after that, we had already had bills at this level and we were earning at this level. Problem was, we then went to this level and came back at this level. So we had debt from when we were down here and we didn't quite get back up here. It was years, multiple years of struggle, but we got through it. We did it and we came out better on the other side. You can. There were days that felt incredibly hopeless. There were times that I said I would spend all day just praying for night so I could go to sleep and leave my reality. And then I spent all night wishing for it to be morning because I had nightmares. And that is not an exaggeration or poem or poetry. That was my reality for a very long time until I did what I'm showing you guys now. And I got control of myself and I got control of my emotion and said, this is where I'm at, but it's not where I'm staying. Let's go forward. Financial security will help you with that. But if you're not currently financially secure, start changing your attitude to get there. Do it now. Get a head start. Number 5. This is by far my absolute favorite quote from Ronald Reagan, trust but verify. He said it when he was, it was in an interview I saw with him and Gorbachev, the former leader of the Soviet Union back in the 80s. And Gorbachev said he always says that. You can't rely on someone else. You can't trust that people are going to do what they're supposed to do or said they're going to do. This can be trusting but verifying an appointment. This can be trusting but verifying someone who's coming to help you. It can be trusting but verifying somebody's actually going to do something they tell you they're going to do. Trust but verify. There are people that die. There are people that lie. There are people that flake. You have employees that just don't show up. You have people that are going to let you down. Trust but verify and be prepared for when they don't follow through. Because sometimes it's not our fault. If my car breaks down on my way to work, I was trying to do what I said I would do, but I wasn't able to. And so you need to have a contingency plan for when things like that happen, but also when there's people that just simply don't honor their word and aren't honorable people. Circumstances change. Even friends will betray you. But there's also good things. There's weddings, there's kids, there's opportunities. So you want to have the financial stability and you want to have the security of these things, good health, personal security, emotional security, so that when these good things happen, you can fully enjoy them. I've said it in multiple videos. You guys are probably getting tired of hearing it, but if you're new, I want you to hear it. You need to plan for extremes always. Don't look at averages. Plan for extremes. You can see charts that go like this. You never buy the average on the stock market and just write it out. There was a series of commercials a while back that was pretty funny that had this idea. Somebody riding a fake pony and they're like, oh, you don't like, just coasting. It's the same thing. Life goes up and down. There are cycles to real estate. There are cycles to jobs. There are recessions. There are times of war. There are times of plenty. There are depression. Everything's cyclical. There's nothing new under the sun, Ecclesiastes said. So you need to plan for those things, even within your own life. There are going to be periods when you have kids where it's really expensive. When your kids leave, where you think it's not going to be as expensive, but it's a different kind of expensive. There's going to be times in your own life where you can do certain things, can't do certain things. Things will never go as planned, so stop planning for ideal. It doesn't mean that you don't plan for the future, but you have to, it's just like when you're planning to build a house. You don't have an exact budget and say, I'm going to spend $237,000.17. You can't do that because there's going to be changes in prices. There's going to be something that takes longer. There's going to be something that you decide you want different. You always assume it's going to cost more. You never schedule yourself every single minute of every single day if you're a reasonable person, because there are going to be things that take longer than you expect, and so you're not able to accomplish as much. It's the same thing. Things are never going to be go exactly as planned, so stop planning for the ideal and start planning for the probable, and plan in time for things to go wrong. If you plan for things to go wrong, then when they go right, you'll be ahead of the game. This is just like having an emergency fund. If you could plan that everything was going to go exactly the way you expected and you would never get a flat tire, you wouldn't need an emergency fund for your car repairs. But because that happens, you have to plan. Okay, so this is the second level, but always watch the previous level. So even though you're working on this part, go back and review that first video periodically and kind of say, all right, am I doing what I need to do to stay at this level? And then coming up to this level. I used to say it was like spinning plates. This is not something people do anymore. But in cartoons, you would see people with little sticks and they'd put a plate on the top and they'd spin the first one. And then they'd start the second one and go back to this one and keep it spinning and spinning this one. Then they'd start a third one, have to go back to the first and the second, keep him going, add the third. That's what life is like. You've got to constantly cycle back, make sure what you already did is still working, and then add the next thing and keep moving forward. A lot of this has been theoretical, but there's a lot of really practical in here. So I would love to hear from you what kind of things you would like to know more practically and applicably to your life. What are the questions you have? What are the things that you've done right and wrong? How would you apply this to your own life? Anything you have to say, put it in the comments below. Please like, share, and comment. Please help me get this out. Punch the like button, hit subscribe and the bell so you find out, and let other people know about this and other videos. I really hope that you'll go and look over at that equation video and a couple of the other videos that I put up around the 4th of July, because there's a lot of great stuff there to help you. And I will see you next week on this series and tomorrow in my next video. Have a great day. Bye.